So my idea for today is actually to explain you a little bit on how work is going to be like in the years to come, and how that all relates with blockchain and Ethereum and all of those things. So starting with the first slide. So this is like going back to the pre-industrial era, and everything was task-based. You don't recall because we were never living in that era, but still, people would do crafting, people would do agriculture, people would do small-scale trading. So everything that they produced, they would go to a local market, they would try to sell it, make a few dollars or shells or whatever current coin there was at the time, and that was the state of work at the time. But after that came the Industrial Revolution, and with that we started having fixed salaries, fixed schedule in terms of work, and it also allowed people to have a legal contract. So in some cases, being abided by laws, it was having a safety net for these workers. And basically, these changes brought some stability and safety to the workplace, but at the same time, they also provided centralized work and reduced the flexibility of people. So what we're seeing right now, it's basically a back to the future scenario where people are starting to engage with what we call the gig economy. And this means that now with remote working and everything being a digital working environment, everyone can come and collaborate in a task-based approach again. But still, what we're seeing is that it also brings some challenges. So specifically, we have trust issues. So we don't know if that organization that I'm working for on a task-based approach is going to pay me at the end of the month. How can we handle payments? So if I'm working from, I don't know, from India, and I'm getting paid by a US organization, how do payments are processed? If it's by fiat, it takes a lot of time. And there isn't like much job security within this framework. So Ethereum actually comes to save the day. By the way, this image is an image that is on Web3 Hub that we have in my hometown in Porto, Portugal. So if you guys want to visit it, feel free, because you'll see this picture in real life, which is good. But anyway, going back to the conversation, so Ethereum and other blockchains provide the solution of smart contracts, and these smart contracts basically make this problem or these challenges diminish. So it enhances traceability, it ensures that there is payment security, and it boosts the transparency overall in this new digital gig economy. So basically, the topic of today, this was just to give you a context, is what we like to call WorkFi. So it's a mix between work plus finance, so the same as you have in DeFi, but applied just for the work. And this is what we believe that will be the future of work. So this new decentralized employment movement or infrastructure. And what this model does is, of course, leveraging on top of smart contracts and blockchain technologies. And this transforms the way that we do freelancing work, we do remote working, and other types of work. And by using tools that are inherent to the blockchain space, like decentralized social graphs, soul-bound tokens, we can now have a transversal reputation system that you can take from one platform to the other. Like if you work, for example, for freelancing.com, you cannot take your reputation from that platform to anywhere else. So this allows you to actually bring that reputation with you on your wallet. And at the same time, it also enhances the trust between organizations and workers, because all the interactions are done through smart contracts, and they have what I will explain a little bit later, a validation system. And yeah, regarding payments, so it ensures basically fair and timely payments, which I will also get into that later. So again, speaking about validators, they are in this scenario the pillars of trust. So instead of an organization being the one that says if that worker has done a good job or not, or the worker itself, there isn't much validity to it. So now we are seeing like many platforms that introduce this validator or curator system that allows for all of these interactions to happen more fairly and more close to what has actually happened. So the idea here is to reduce bias, to increase the fairness, both in terms of payment, but also in terms of the structure of the work itself, and to promote a higher standard of work. Okay, so now going into what we're doing inside our company. So our company, LayerX, is essentially a Web3 builder studio that develops products for both organizations and developers. We want to increase that part of that last part in terms of community, but now we're solely focused on the development part. And we do it through hackathons and bounties. So one of the platform that we have on or one of the products is the Taikai platform, which is a Web3 hackathon platform. And it's the platform that is being used for the ETH Belgrade hackathon. It's the platform that has been used for ETH Dublin last week and for many ETH events, Web3 events, but not only. So we also work with Web2 clients, such as the European Commission, Nissan, Mercedes, Pfizer, TikTok. So pretty much everyone in the industry that wants to do hackathons can come to us. And the reason why we created this is because we believe that hackathons are also a good way for you to kickstart the relationship with one specific organization. And that can eventually lead into being hired for that organization or start working for that organization in a freelancing base. And then we recently acquired another company called BPro, and BPro has brought two products. One of them, which is the one in the middle, BPro Network, is a Web3 protocol to create and manage bounties. So bounties are specifically tasks. In this case, we're focusing more on development tasks, but in the future it can be many more. And what it allows you to do is basically to, as an organization, to launch your bounties there. You can launch in whatever chain there is available. It's actually a multi-chain product. And then a developer can come and simply select the ones that they want to participate. They participate using GitHub at the moment, but it will be possible to use many more platforms in the future. So that is basically what we're targeting for specifically within the WorkFi space. And then there is DAppKit. So DAppKit is an open source project that we developed for the community. It's a framework so that people can go from the Web2 side as a developer to quickly start their Web3 projects. And the reason why I bring these products and the reason why I'm mentioning them is because we have some interesting use cases for this WorkFi movement. So one of them is what we call the POPs, the proof of participation. This is an NFT that we award for hackers, for mentors, for judges of a specific hackathon that attest that you were a part of that hackathon and that attest your position in that hackathon. And basically it goes to your wallet. So you can take it with you, can build your own digital CV with it. You can do whatever you want with it. And eventually in the future, some platforms will require some kind of credentials, and these can be the credentials that you can use. And we're also focused on bringing digital identity for the hackathon space. At the moment, we have integrated ENS with our platform, so it is possible for you to have your ENS name on your profile, and it identifies you as a person inside the community and the ecosystem. In the future, we want to create more of these possibilities of bringing digital identity into the platform, and we're looking for partners also in that space. We're also thinking of integrating with Lens protocol so that we can tap also into the social graph that is being built over there. So there are many possibilities within this realm of digital identity. Okay, so speaking about the use case for bounties for bPro network. In this case, going back to the product, everything that is done through the bounties is on-chain. So an organization, when they launch a bounty, they say what task they want to be developed, they put their GitHub repository, and then they have to basically stake a specific amount of tokens into the protocol. So that money is the reward for the developer that submits the job. So when someone delivers the work and that work gets approved, they immediately get paid through their wallets. So there is no third parties, there is no intermediary, it's all done through smart contracts. This allows for people to get paid on time, to get paid through the token that they see that is published on the bounty. They can even request the organization to pay the bounty in specific tokens. So there is all of these possibilities that allow for these workers to be able to do it in an easier way. And there is the creator aspect to it as well. So there is a community that are not developers and that are not there to actually solve bounties, but more into creating the work that is being done. So people that review the code, that review the work of other people, and that have a percentage of the bounty that is delivered to them. So it's an incentive for them to basically look out if that solution is adequate or not for that specific organization. So wrapping up and looking ahead on what the future is going to bring in this space. So for me and for our organization, the future is multi-chain and interoperable. Sorry for Ethereum maxis or any other maxis, but I think that this will allow for people to be able to teleport their credentials to any chain that they want for any job or task platform in the future. And also account abstraction will also be very important to drive the next billion users. So by using wallets in which you don't have to be concerned about saving your own private keys, seed phrase, all of these technical aspects that sometimes make it difficult for users, will allow for these interactions within the WorkFi space to happen more naturally in the tap of a phone. So I think this will also be important and will make significant change. Another aspect is the digital identity part. So we are now seeing some solutions regarding soulbound tokens. We are also seeing some solutions regarding zero-knowledge proofs to appear. There are some cool projects that are developing it as well. There is one specifically which is called Sysmo. Basically, you can generate a ZK proof on whatever NFT that you have, and that allows you to basically show what you want to show in terms of your credentials. So you don't have to show your whole wallet where you perhaps have other stuff in there. You can just show whatever you need to show for that specific platform. And I think this will also change the game, especially within the workspace. Okay, so this is not related with WorkFi, but more on some things that we're also seeing in the market. And in this case, it's more on the future of collaboration or the future of entrepreneurship. And we've now introduced a concept within the Taikai platform, so the hackathon platform, which is Taikai Garden. And it's a way for all of these hackathon projects that are pretty much wasted after a hackathon to gain a new life. And we want to allow people to be able to look out for other teammates after a hackathon, to be able to look out for mentors after a hackathon, perhaps look out for funding, to turn a hackathon project into an actual startup. So that is the concept that we're grabbing. It's not specifically related with a work environment, but something related with innovation and entrepreneurship, which is also very, very relevant. And yeah, so we basically have a token that will be the glue for all of these interactions to happen. So wrapping up, again, I'm seeing WorkFi as the new horizon that is about to turn all of our lives. So if you look at major protocols that are already seeking for developers or other types of profiles, they're already selecting their people through bounties. So it's been something that they have been addressing a lot. Some protocols have been giving grants and smaller grants for one-person team that wants to create something, that wants to create a project. So for me and for us as an organization, we believe that this is going to play a more significant role, not just in the Web3 space, but also in the Web2 space. So step by step, I believe that we are shifting the whole work environment to become more decentralized, and it's what I hope for at least to happen. Okay, so this was a small pitch. I would like to again thank you very much for coming and for listening. So you have here my contacts on the left, and you have my presentation on the right in case you want to download it. So now I would open up for questions. If you have any, I'd be delighted to answer all of those. Yes.
Just a quick question about the bounties. I really like the idea. Can you do it in a sense, if you talk from the enterprise level, can we do it in a sense that not the whole world sees what we put it as a bounty, in a sense that you limit to a certain number of people or limit to only your employees or only to the pool of candidates? Is it possible?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, that is a good question. So at the moment, it is possible on the hackathon solution. We do what we call private hackathons. So some of these use cases that I mentioned, like the Mercedes one, TikTok one, was actually a private hackathon within the ecosystem of that company. For the bounty side of things, we are developing that for some organizations. So some organizations come to us, either it's like in a public sense or in a closed sense. They can launch what we call a bounty network that allows them to select the tokens that they want to use for payments, the tokens that they want to use for the creation part, who can access that. So which organizations can launch bounties there. It can be, for example, the Ethereum Foundation, but it can also be projects that are within the Ethereum ecosystem. And the same thing for the participant side of things, and the same for the curator side of things. Because at the moment, for you to become a curator within our protocol, you need to stake our token, and that's how it is possible for you to become a creator and review other people's code. So with this process of token gating, we can somewhat overcome this challenge.
Sorry. So how would I be satisfied as a bounty submitter that the curator is doing his job well, and also the developer, of course, is submitting their correct code? So I have the problem always on GitHub, not on GitHub, on Gitcoin, for example, but a few people submitting their solutions, so I can choose from that solution or tell them, okay, that's not correct and you should change it like this. But in this case, I think it's fully escrowed, and so if I'm not satisfied, so how do you solve the this kind of situations?
This is a very good question, because from an organization standpoint, you have two options: delegate it fully to the community, or you have a say in it. There are several ways to do it. On one side, what happens typically is, yes, you have the community evaluating other people's work, and you have what we call a dispute resolution period. So you, by having a specific amount of token stake, can dispute that solution or can dispute that proposal and say, okay, this guy or this girl has reviewed this in a bad manner. I don't agree with it, and I propose for it to be X, Y, and Z. So you can actually do that as an organization. That's one solution. The other one, so we're giving out an example. We're working with the Aurora chain. Aurora is an EVM inside the Near ecosystem, and they decided to create their own bounty network, as I've described. They just launched bounties. It's supposed to be for their community using their own tokens, but they created a specific token for the creation part, which allows them to have full control on who they delegate that token. So they can say, okay, I want all the projects of my ecosystem to be able to create the work that has been done. I want only the Aurora Foundation to be able to do that, or whatever you want. So you can simply select what suits you best, depending on how much work and how much interaction you want to have with the community. Thank you. More questions? Right, I guess we're all hungry for lunch. So before I wrap up, just wanted to say that we have our booth upstairs. So if you want to come chat a little bit, we're going to be there. We also have some cool stickers, and we have a POAP for you to mint. So again, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here, and I'm really enjoying East Belgrade so far. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Let's grab lunch.
Yeah, please.